Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Our final match this evening here in the Danish Darts Open, which has been coming to you from magnificent Copenhagen. And now it's time to meet the boys from Germany. Would you please welcome Dragutin Horvat. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Maximizer Max Hopp!
Only one game left for you tonight, and it's an all-German affair as the German #1 Max Hopp, a winner on the European Tour, the first and only German so far to win a PDC ranking title, takes on Dragutin Horvat, a man who we have seen at the World Championship. We have seen him mixing it with the best in his country. We've seen him go on runs on the European Tour to the final session of action before. Ratso can certainly play when he gets going, but Max Hopp appears to have moved to another level over the last few months. And can he assert his dominance over his countrymen and book his place in the second round? And a repeat, another Max Hopp Mervyn King game, could it be? Well, it could, if Hopp can get the victory here. Chris Murphy joins me, Dan Dawson, for the final game of day one, and the first day ever that the PDC's had in Denmark, and it's Hopp and Horvat in the opening round.
Ladies and gentlemen, first leg, Max to throw first, game on.
Well, will it be worth the wait for this pair? Because Horvat's already feeling the heat on stage. Not throwing a dart yet, Dragutin. Don't give the game away.
60.
Well, it is a late night here. I don't think we've ever seen a game start at nearly 20 past 11 local time on the Euro Tour. We did seem to go quite late in the final session in Gibraltar, in the final day. Slightly longer format games. Obviously, there's that gap between the semis and the final.
59.
And some close ones. Paul Nicholson and Adrian Lewis going the distance.
Yeah, but never has the end of the first round threatened to end on the same day as the start of the second round.
Well, quite. And I think we'll be going some for that to happen, but it is a possibility because, you know, Max won't be rushed, and this means a lot to both of these guys.
60.
It was the #1 moment so far.
108.
That wasn't a prediction that was the #1 moment of this match so far. It was the #1 moment so far when the PDC looked back on the European Tour in an article on the website this week when Max Hopp clinched his victory in Saarbrücken.
Dragutin Uruguay 121.
Did it with a 1-2-1 checkout.
41.
Well, no, he didn't get it. I'm not sure what he's doing here, Dragutin. He mopped his brow before he'd started playing, and he seemed to celebrate scoring 41 there. It's the
know what's going on.
Ultimate act of reverse psychology.
80.
Make him think he's a leg down.
Oh,
34.
what a
Match
mess.
170.
Max Hopp, the potential to win a leg on the bull. No longer.
58. Dragutin Uruguay 46. Yes, on the first leg, Dragutin Horvat.
It might have been a mess in the previous visit, but that was very tidy from Dragutin.
Break of throw 2.
Well, we don't have the full records for these two because, you know, they've played German Super League, so they'll have run into each other loads and loads of times. The only records we've got are from actual sanctioned PDC events. They've met once before on the Euro Tour, and that was won by Max, good 5 years ago now. All the other times have been in
96.
Either qualifying for the Worlds. In fact, when Max first made the World Championship as a 16-year-old, he beat Dragutin in the Central Europe qualifying event, the semi-finals and the last leg decider. And the other times have all been in qualifying for Euro tours, either in host nation qualifier, well, in fact, all in host nation qualifiers events in Germany. And Dragutin's only won one.
60.
But it is difficult to gauge, you know, all those other times when they've run into each other in German Super League, or who knows what other local German comps that they've been competing in, because Max, despite only being 21, he's been around playing competitive darts for a good 5-6 years.
Yeah, he's already had the best year of his career, Max Hopp. But he's still got a big year ahead of him because he's going to appear
100.
in some big TV events. The World Match Play just around the corner, as we've mentioned. Hopp is a man who's already appeared in the World Series of darts.
Seems better equipped now to deal with it
98.
than he perhaps was last year when he was really struggling for form. Although he's made a pretty poor start to this game, it has to be said. He's done nothing.
73.
What has been impressive, I think, about Max Hopp is that it's very rare that you see someone kind of thrown in the deep end like that, sink, and then
start to
swim. Yes,
yeah.
it's
usually by then they've drowned and you never hear them again.
Can he do something similar in this match? He's going to have to produce something after, as you said, a slow start, and perhaps
on the second leg, Dragutin
the weight
the leg is Max to throw first.
affected Max a little.
Game on.
A congratulatory cheers there from Dragutin. He's a character.
83.
I have to say, it's been a long but very enjoyable opening day here at the Danish Darts Open. We've had some cracking contests, some fantastic performances, some games that haven't hit the heights but have certainly delivered in terms of drama. And the crowd have played a part.
Well, the crowd have been
100.
incredible. You're never quite sure how they're going to, when you go to a new venue, how they're going to take to it, particularly a brand new country. But even though there weren't many of them, they
60.
were pretty enthusiastic this afternoon. But this evening, well, they've been riotous, despite there only being a few hundred in. And when we have 2,500 in this weekend, it is going to be something special here at the Brøndby Halle.
It'll be interesting to see if any one player in particular gets their support.
140.
With Peter Wright, well, we were seeing it with Peter Wright in Germany when the German players weren't around.
I've not seen Peter this weekend, but I would bet my bottom dollar that there will be a Danish
94.
flag motif in his hair or his clothes or both tomorrow that cynically will try to get the fans on his side.
140.
And it will probably work.
124.
We'll see Peter Wright taking on Barry Lynn in the second round tomorrow.
Oh,
91. Dragutin Uruguay 120.
That's his first start at double in this match. Max Hopp.
will Dragutin get another here? No, he won't.
100.
So for a way into this game, Max Hopp to hold his throw, to get a leg on the board. Single one needed. Just about there. And that is there.
Max Hopp. Forward leg is distributing to throw first. Game on.
Winner of this faces Mervyn King. That's in the same half of the draw as Michael van Gerwen, but more immediately. He's got the likes of Rob Cross, Steve Beaton in that section of the draw. Same quarter as Daryl Gurney and Simon Whitlock and the informed Jermaine Watermain.
140.
Both of these players, of course, appeared in the record-breaking German Darts Masters.
I didn't see any of the Germans come through the opening round in that World Series event, but we saw Max Hopp at least put Michael van Gerwen through his paces. And the youngster Nico Kurtz come very close to overhauling Jamie Lewis.
Yeah, it's been interesting to see the progression of German darts players.
140.
They've been handed opportunities by the popularity of the sport in Germany. The reason there are so many European Tour events there is because the fans turn out to watch them, as Horvat looks to finish off this leg and does. And the result of the opportunities and the chance to take on the world's best players is that they are becoming the world's best players.
Yes, there's still some way to go, but when you look at Hopp, Schindler and Gabriel Clemens would be the three you'd single out. Gabriel Clemens already made a final on the tour this year. Martin Schindler has been putting in every now and again. He puts in a big ton-plus average, makes you sit up and pay attention. And Max Hopp has obviously become the first German to win a ranking event. They're the three leading the way, but there is a supporting cast of other players who flit in and out. Horvat has had his moments. Quarterfinalist on the Euro Tour. Maybe somebody like Nico Bloom could step up, or Nico Kurtz, who we saw in Gelsenkirchen.
140.
You just start to wonder if the same kind of effect will occur in new places like Denmark.
100.
We're expecting a big crowd here tomorrow and Sunday.
22. Max require 107.
We know there's been a PDC circuit in this part of the world for a few years now.
Yeah.
All building blocks, and that's the idea, isn't it? The game has got huge in the UK, and now it's getting bigger and bigger across Europe and indeed around the world.
Yeah, well, if you take Scandinavia as a region, it does have a rich darting pedigree, and you know, we have players around now who are very, very decent players. But back in the day, they had some superb players like Stefan Lord.
Yeah, well, you can get, can't you, the odd player that will be challenging the top players, but as you've just mentioned with Germany, getting that second tier behind them and the ability to have a good field of strength in depth from a certain nation or region.
Yeah, and look, let's have it right. As brilliantly as Max Hopp did to win in Saarbrücken, as fantastically as Martin Schindler is doing in his progression, Gabriel Clemens looks a very real prospect. They're not in the world's elite just yet. They've still got a way to go before we can stick them in that same category with the likes of Cross and Anderson and Van Gerwen and all that lot. But they're better. They're in a better position now than they were 5 years ago.
Yeah, and it's not just the fact that so much darts in Europe now, and particularly in Germany, but also, and this isn't just true for the players from those parts of the world, also there's much more on-stage darts. So when they arrive at the TV tournaments, they're better equipped and more experienced.
140.
Yeah, well, I think we've talked about that before. I mean, the fast tracking of players learning to play on the stage when the opportunities are getting on the European Tour.
There are more days of European Tour darts this year than there are of floor darts.
59.
Yeah. I mean, you're going some to be involved in all of them, but you could be. And some of the venues have bigger crowds than the major tournaments. In fact, all the major tournaments outside of the Premier League. So if you can play in front of 5,000 in Germany or the Netherlands, and it will probably be something like that in Maastricht when we're there later in the year.
96.
Then playing at the World Championship in front of 3,500, well, it won't be that alien to you.
Yeah, and there was a good percentage of German fans at Alexandra Palace for the last couple of years.
59.
Singing the same songs. Like being in Germany sometimes. Endurance security. A quarter of the tickets sold are from the countries that the European Tour goes to. Vast majority from Germany.
180.
Maximum from the maximizer.
142.
Oh, hang about. Stay there, Dragutin. Surely stay there.
Well,
silly.
102.
You could have forgiven him for not staying there, but for going for the smallest target on the board, I am not going to forgive him. And Max Hopp might not either.
$88.
Horvat off the hook.
Well, you left it, Dragutin, so you hit it.
No score. Max, you require 18.
Dragutin Horvat, a study in exasperation.
Well, Hopp's going to split this. A long way off. Double four.
14. Dragutin, you require 40.
Well, judging by Horvat's reaction a few moments ago, this is a chance he didn't think he was going to get again. But once again,
20.
he's fluffed his lines.
Max, you require 4.
Dragutin Horvat is playing like a man who has only ever beaten Max Hopp once in 5 attempts in PDC sanctioned games. Can he beat him?
Inch on the stick leg, Max Hopp.
Well, he put himself in a prime position.
Max to throw first.
But now the tables have turned because Hopp is level and has the throw.
Max Hopp is averaging in the mid-80s. He is 3 out of 14 on his doubles? 3 out of 13.
100.
It's not been good. It is nowhere near the levels that we've seen from Max Hopp already this year, and yet he finds himself 3-all. He was there for the taking in the early part of this game, and Dragutin Horvat has not been making hay while the sun shines.
It'd be nice to have someone like Paul Nicholson alongside me right now, not because I don't like you, Dan, but because I could ask him about the idea of trying to prepare for a game at an estimated time, but that estimated time was 45 minutes earlier than when they actually ended up going on stage. And you just wonder if that kind of change in preparation may have affected both of these players. Because, as you said, it isn't good, is it?
No, it's not as good as we've come to expect from Max lately.
134.
I mean, if anything, he's got a little bit better as the game has gone on, but really, Dragutin has got worse.
I just wonder how. I mean, Nicholson is a kind of ideal guy to ask because he tries not to leave anything down to the risk of poor preparation, at least. And it probably is, you know, you can see as the night pans out that it's going to be late. There is a weird chance that you could kind of not practice enough then, because you just sit down, put your arrows down for a little bit, and kind of get caught cold somehow.
99.
I mean, had Mervyn King been playing in the final match tonight, his arm would have fallen off, wouldn't it?
Well, I mean, he may have needed some physical help getting up and down from the stage. Max Hopp is taking charge of this one.
Game on.
Just seems to have ignited in the last couple of legs.
100.
And that's possibly adding to that point that started a little flat, but now maybe he's found his feet and saw something similar, I thought, in the Adrian Lewis match. Few players who have been in decent form on different tours and neither could get anything going.
134.
I think the difference with Max now that he's done what he's done, he'll just have a different mindset. Whereas 12 months ago,
44.
he came into this game and he played like he did for the first few legs, and he'd probably start to panic. You think it's happening again. I'm not playing well. I know I can play better than this. And there's no confidence that things are going to improve. Whereas now, you get the impression that Max Hopp knows it's going to get better. He's going to start playing good darts. It's just a matter of when it turns. Because he has been playing good darts, and playing good darts regularly. And title-winning darts.
You can almost physically see it in the way that he holds himself.
Yeah.
I mean, not just on the stage, but when we see him walking around the venues, it's a different kind of confidence in his posture.
He's always been very mature, very professional, and, you know, an excellent ambassador for the game.
83.
But ultimately, if you're an ambassador for the game, no matter how mature and professional you are, if you're not winning any games, you know, you're
100.
going to feel a bit like a fraud. He is not a fraud, Max Hopp. He's got the talent to back it up, and he's shown us that this year.
You've only got to go back 6 or 7 years. We'd often find Michael van Gerwen out the back of sports halls in tears.
Yeah, literally in tears.
Because he couldn't win a game, and he knew that he was better than he was showing. Horvat
30.
might have needed that
to
to get himself going.
118.
Hopp has a chance here to effectively put this to bed.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of darts missed there, but 6 darts missed a couple of legs ago. And Max Hopp to really turn the screw, double top for another break and a 5-3 lead.
98. Djibouti Uruguay 36.
Well, he's missed a fair few chances. He cannot afford to miss any more.
Game shot on the
He
8th
hasn't.
there. Djibouti Horvat. I think it's Max to throw first. Game on.
To be fair, those darts at double 18, all 4 of them. One of them went in, the other 3 were right on the wire. Had he come away without winning the leg in that visit, I think Djibouti Horvat might have just
97.
thrown his darts on the table and walked off. But he is in this game. The average is pretty much level.
100.
The finishing stats identical.
I thought that Max was going to level up the maximum tally too there, but the third dart couldn't join the other two.
60.
Still the favourite for this game by virtue of having a throw, Max Hopp.
Just looking at the schedule for tomorrow. They are on in the evening tomorrow, whoever wins this match, but it is the first match of the evening. Just a reminder that we do have another
64.
bumper session of darts here in Denmark. A double session, the second round of the inaugural Danish Darts Open. All kicks off with John Henderson taking on Brendan Dolan. And the big boys come out to play. The likes of James Wade, Simon Whitlock, Peter Wright, the world number 2, Michael Smith, the number 2 seed here, the world champion Rob Cross, the world Grand Prix champion Darrell Gurney, and of course the world number 1 Michael van Gerwen, all in action on Saturday. Will Max Hopp be joining them?
88.
Well, he is going to come back and have another crack, but things did get a little bit messy earlier on in this one, as Hopp missed on the 8s and the 4s and the 2s and only managed to pin double 1.
136.
Horvat a little bit reluctant to stay on the treble 20, thought they looked a bit loose. Max Hopp can't afford anything loose.
Game shot on the night leg, Max Hopp.
Pretty
10-legged
solid.
to throw first, game on.
That's pretty
123.
solid. Straight out into the treble one, but it was a well bunched visit from Horvat, and we're looking likely to go all the way down to a last leg decider. And he said it would be very unlikely that this game finished past midnight, but it is 20-12 now. I'm sure that it's our latest ever finish on the European Tour.
Not to be close. Late night darts from Denmark.
And it's down to the fact that so many of the games have been so blooming close.
140.
And that keeps Max Hopp close in this leg. As you can see, we've only had one 12 darter and one 15 darter. Everything else has been in 6 or 7 visits to the board, and that 6th leg and the 8th leg, pretty scrappy stuff, to be honest. It has not been top quality, but it has been tight, and it has been tense. And Max Hopp, well, in a game which has not been high on quality, we could see the biggest finish of the lot to end it.
100.
What a way to end our opening night of PDC darts in Denmark it would be.
Ludicrous assertion, Dan. Can't happen.
Well, of course it can.
He's not playing well enough, Dan.
Of course it could happen. I mean, it won't happen, but it could have happened. Oh dear.
78.
Good last dart.
You require 114.
Well, that can't happen now.
74.
What does Max Hopp do here? Does he take aim at the ball? Or does he go the golden gamble on treble 20?
It looks a decent guide for the bullseye.
And
they gave it the full Max Hopp bullseye shot build-up. It's a bit of an anticlimax.
It was. Are we going to a last leg?
Well, this could be the last leg. Because Max Hopp wants 45 to finish off the first day of action here at the first Danish Darts Open. Double 16. Sends Max Hopp through to round 2, where he will take on Mervyn King in a repeat of that infamous World Championship clash where Hopp did the 1-6-1, defeats his German compatriot Dragutin Horvat by 6 legs to 4. We're back tomorrow, 2 sessions starting at 1 PM local time, that's 12 if you're watching in the UK. Join us when Michael van Gerwen, Peter Wright, Rob Cross and many more of the world's top players join the action at the Danish Darts Open. Max Hopp will be there and he will have the final word on day 1. And what a dramatic day it's been. Join us again tomorrow. Final word goes to the winner, Max Hopp.
Max, congratulations. A tough game against your fellow German. You found a way to get over the line in the end.
Yes, it wasn't a good game from both of us. We both knew we can play better, but yeah, we are here together. We are just 3 Germans, us 2 and Martin. Yeah, and it's hard to play against each other. You know, you have the conversation in the practice room. It's hard to find that brutal finishing against somebody you really like. So,
well, next up, it's Mervyn King again, and you and him. I mean, he just seems to bring the best out of you.
Yes, of course. Mervyn King is a different situation. Yeah, we played against each other at the World Championship, and since then we have some proper battles. So I look forward to tomorrow's will be a different performance for myself.
Germany's #1 and the German Darts Open champion, the maximizer Max Hopp. That completes our action for the opening day, our first day in Denmark with the PDC. We will be back tomorrow. Max will be back along with the likes of the world #1, Michael van Gerwen, the world #2, Peter Snakebite Wright, and the bully boy, a 4-time winner on the Euro Tour, Michael Smith.